right, for more, let's welcome in Deputy Communications Director for the Trump campaign, Caroline Sunshine. Caroline, good morning to you. Great to see you. So the Democratic Party is already in crisis mode with Biden. We just saw that interview that he did. How do you think he did? Does this help or hurt the situation that he's in?
Good morning. Well, it's a little early for them to be in panic mode, isn't it? I was told Joe Biden's only active between the hours of 10 and 4 p.m. Look, I remember when George Stephanopoulos said that airing an interview with President Trump would be an act of journalistic malpractice. But somehow, a former Democrat White House communications director like Stephanopoulos sitting down with Democrat in decline Joe Biden to do cleanup on aisle 5 is somehow an act of journalism. Yes, it is very clear and has been clear to the American people for years now that Joe Biden is weak and incompetent and in decline. But the liberal mainstream media has been fully complicit in concealing the truth of this from the American people. And there is no amount of interviews, there is no amount of PR spin and cleanup on aisle 5, 6, and 7 that they can do to be the same people who for years said, oh, Joe Biden's fine, he's sharp as a tack, he's doing cartwheels. Those same people do not now get to say, let's go Brandon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we know what you mean. So if Biden changes his mind and chooses to drop out, according to a Reuters Ipsos poll, Trump leads almost every potential replacement nominee, including Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, Andy Beshear, J.B. Pritzker, and he's even leading Kamala Harris by 1 point. But the poll does put him behind Michelle Obama by 11 points. Now, we know that she is not getting in this race at all. She has said that multiple times. But does the campaign prepare him to take on another candidate at this point?
Well, much like President Trump was prepared to debate anytime, any place, anywhere, he's prepared to win anytime, any place, anywhere. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We couldn't be farther from a party in disarray and chaos. We are so proud to have President Trump as our nominee, as the leader of our party, and as the next president of our country. Look, my advice to the Democrat Party would be total surrender now. Save yourself millions of dollars. Do the right thing for the country. Just sit this presidential election out entirely, because you are either stuck with Joe Biden at the top of your ticket, and anybody that you could hope to replace him with cannot beat President Trump, as we just saw in the latest round of polling. So the American people are very clear about who they want. Your own voting base is very clear about who they want. And who they want is President Donald J. Trump back in the White House. And I truly believe the American people wish that the election was tomorrow so that they could cast their vote for President Donald J. Trump immediately and get Joe Biden out of the Oval Office sooner rather than later, because it is very clear this is a man who is not fit to serve.
Yeah, Caroline, a lot of people wondering who is going to be the VP pick for Donald Trump. We're just about a week away from the start of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, which means we are in the final days of Trump's sweepstakes. So according to the Washington Post, the front runners right now are Senator Marco Rubio, Senator J.D. Vance, and Governor Doug Burgum. Can you tell us anything about the announcement?
Well, ladies, since we're just among friends this morning, no, I'm just kidding. I would say to you that the only person who knows who President Donald J. Trump will select for his vice president is, of course, President Trump. But I would again point out that contrast, right? Our team is fielding endless questions, endless amounts of speculation on who President Trump's vice president is going to be, rather than you contrast it with the Biden campaign having to field endless amounts of questions on if their VP nominee is going to replace their nominee. So we're so looking forward to our convention this next week and all the news that President Trump is going to make. Like I said, we couldn't be prouder to have him as the nominee of our party. He has united and inspired our party, and he's going to continue to do that on behalf of our great country.
Which VP possibility do you think helps Trump the most? There are a lot of great options out there.
I think President Trump will be lucky to have any one of those names that have been out there in the ether floated to serve with him. But most importantly, they'll be lucky too. Like I said, President Trump is the leader of our party, and there's nobody who leads like President Trump, both for our movement, for our party, and also for our country.
All right, Caroline Sunshine, so great to have you. We'll be talking with you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.